With the release of Spider-Man Far From Home, that means the third phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has officially wrapped up. 11 years of Marvel movies and 23 films, so in honor of this incredible film series, I'm going to review every single Marvel Cinematic Universe film in 5 minutes. Without further ado, let's get into it. If you are unfamiliar with my rating system, it's a simple letter grade system, but at the top is the most amazing grade I can give, and that is as amazing as Toby. And who is Toby, you might be asking? Well, Toby is my amazing little dog. So if a movie is as amazing as Toby, that means it is as amazing as this little dog. Iron Man was the one that started it all off, and I am eternally grateful to this film. This started this epic series that we now call the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With that being said, I cannot say that Iron Man, especially the Iron Man movies, have been a personal favorite of mine. This is a good movie, do not get me wrong, it's just I don't love it that much. It's a good, solid origin story, but I personally don't love it any more than that. It's just one of the many origin stories in the MCU. I'll give Iron Man a B+. Incredible Hulk is just a weird one in the MCU. It just does not fit, and I just don't like it. The tone is different. It's just not there. I'll give this movie a C+. The same thing with Iron Man 2. I've just never been a fan of this movie. It's just exceptionally average. Like I said, I've never been a crazy huge fan of the first Iron Man, and this one is just even worse. I would give this movie a C-. I've always been a huge fan of the original Thor movie. I think it's a solid, good origin story. I like the tone and the more mythology feel of this movie. I will say, now that we've seen all the variations of the Thor character, this one feels definitely a little off and maybe a little too, mythology based, but still I enjoy this movie. I would say Thor is a solid B+. Captain America: The First Avenger is by far my favorite Avengers setup movie. And once again, just like the other ones, this is a good, solid, grounded origin story, but just because I love the character of Captain America so much, it's just even better for me. The origin is simple and concise, and the theme and element of World War II, that just makes it even better for me. I really enjoy this movie, and I would say this movie is an A+. I've always loved the first Avengers movie, and I cannot say this one my favorite. That's probably because I watched these movies super out of order when I was really young, so I never understood completely what was going on, but now rewatching, I really did enjoy it. I just can't say I enjoyed it as much as some other movies. The huge shock of this movie is the big crossover events that we call the Avengers. I always grew up with big crossover movies, so for me this was just another crossover movie. When I really got into the MCU, Civil War was a thing, and that was a huge crossover. Age of Ultron was a thing, that was an even bigger crossover. So all of this was already seemed repetitive for me. That does not take away that this is a great movie, but for me I would give this around a B+. Iron Man 3 might be one of the most confusing ones for me. I don't love it, I don't hate it, it's just kind of there. In some ways, I did enjoy the plot twist of the Mandarin. I can't say I liked it that much, it was just okay. I would say this movie is a solid C. Thor: The Dark World. Captain America: The Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU movies, and just one of my favorite movies, period. Like I said, I love the character of Captain America, and this just makes it 10 times better. The tone, setting, and plot about this movie are just on point, and it works perfectly. I would say this is one of the first MCU movies that really took a push in changing the MCU. It took the whole SHIELD dynamic and just flipped it on its head. And I will say that Captain America: The Winter Soldier is as amazing as Toby. Guardians of the Galaxy is an incredible movie, but what this truly proved is that Marvel Studios can truly do anything. They took a band of misfits, C, possibly D-level superheroes, and made them pop culture icons. We live in a world where Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man are all Avengers, but some people's favorite Avengers are Talking Raccoon. I will gladly give Guardians of the Galaxy an A. In my opinion, I personally enjoy Age of Ultron more than the first Avengers, just by a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit more MCU, if that makes any more sense. I just feel like it's more ingrained in this universe. I will give Age of Ultron an A. Once again, Marvel proving that they can take a D-level character and make it an icon, Ant-Man. Ant-Man might be one of the most enjoyable movies in the entire MCU. You can consider the MCU a giant TV show, and this is an amazing filler episode. I will give Ant-Man a B+. Captain America: Civil War is the movie for me. One of my favorite MCU movies, and once again, one of my favorite movies ever. This is the movie that got me into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is one of the most mind-blowing, epic movies that I've ever seen. The amount of setup and patience that this movie took is incredible, and the actual presentation and payoff is unbelievable. I will confidently say that Captain America: Civil War is as amazing as Toby. Doctor Strange is one of the most fun MCU movies. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor, and I love how he portrays Doctor Strange in this movie. Because of this movie and because of Mr. Cucumber, Doctor Strange is now one of my favorite Avengers. This movie is great, and I will gladly give this a solid B+. I have very mixed thoughts on Guardians Volume 2, so I'm just going to save the time. I'm going to give this movie a C. Spider-Man Homecoming is an amazing Spider-Man movie and an amazing Marvel movie. It has the perfect balance and tone, and it's a great way to reintroduce the character that we all know and love, Spider-Man. I will give Spider-Man Homecoming an A+. Thor Ragnarok takes the seemingly boring character of Thor that some people like, some people hate, and flips it on its head and makes him just hysterical. Sometimes a movie can be too funny, which is kind of dumb to say, but it is true. Regardless, this is such a funny adventure, and I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I will say this is a solid B. Black Panther had so much hype around it, I thought there was no way it could live up to it, but it definitely did. The world of Wakanda is an incredible world, and the villain of Killmonger is one of my favorite villains and just one of my favorite characters. Without a doubt, this movie is in my top 10. I will give Black Panther an A+. Everything that needs to be said about Infinity Wars has already been said. This movie is as amazing as Toby. Ant-Man and the Wasp is a highly entertaining film. I enjoyed this movie a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. It's funny, enjoyable, and it introduced a very important part of the MCU, that being the quantum realm. I will say once again, this is a solid B movie. I already did an entire video on Captain Marvel, but to sum it up in one sentence, this movie is exceptionally average. In my review, I gave it a B-, but I'm going to bring it down to a C. Avengers Endgame. Every single praising word has already been said about this movie because it deserves every single ounce of praise. It is an achievement of mankind. This is an incredible historical achievement. Patience, hard work, dedication, all led up to this incredible movie that we call Endgame. So I would give this around a B-. That was just a dumb joke, okay? This movie is amazing as Toby. Let's go. This movie is phenomenal. It does justice to the character of Spider-Man. I absolutely love the character of Mysterio, both as pretending to be a good guy and an actual bad guy. I love the story. I love the plot of this movie. Everything about this movie is fantastic. I love seeing the MCU after the snap, after the blip, and after Endgame. All of that was incredible. Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man film, but this is a very close second, and this movie is as amazing as Toby. There you have it, every single MCU movie reviewed. I said 5 minutes, but we'll see how long it actually took. Right now I've been filming for 26 minutes, so we will see. If you got to the end of this video, then you probably will enjoy this channel, so please consider subscribing. If you want to interact with me on the social media, such as Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram at basically.sw and on Twitter at DavidLawlerYT. You can also follow my personal Instagram account at DavidLawlerYT. That was all I got for today, guys. I will see you in the next video. May the force be with you.